Hi everyone, my name is Brianna DeFranco and I will be talking about synesthesia in music. In recent years, many musicians have publicly stated that they share a similar condition which may significantly affect the way they hear, create, and experience music. This condition is known as synesthesia. Synesthesia can be thought of as a consistent mix-up of two or more of the human's five senses. For example, a certain smell can trigger the perception of an associated color, and a certain sound can trigger the perception of an associated taste, and so on. In this presentation, I will examine how synesthesia changes the experience of music and the neurological differences between someone with or without it. The brain of a synesthete behaves differently than a non-synesthete. The way information is processed can be vastly different than people who do not have synesthesia. This atypical brain activity linked to the sensory modalities plays a major role in how a synesthete experiences music differently than the rest of the population. Past studies indicate that anywhere from 1% up to 4% of the world's population experience synesthesia. According to the World Health Organization, the Earth's population is roughly 7.5 billion people as of 2019. This means that somewhere between 75 million and 300 million people worldwide experience synesthesia in some form. Through functional magnetic resonance imaging, researchers have been able to observe the human brain and see which areas of the brain become active during the experience of synesthesia. Results show that the brain activity in the left medial lingual gyrus is significantly increased during synesthetic experiences. Once stimulus reaches that area of the brain, it is at this point that the person with synesthesia will formulate a different neurological response than the person without synesthesia. Evidence from at least one research experiment supported the hypothesis that all newborn infants are born with synesthesia. This ability or defect to unconsciously utilize multiple sensory modalities for various types of stimuli seem to be unlearned over time as infants age and their brain structure solidifies. Using fMRI to observe the brain of synesthetes, researchers have observed significantly increased activity in the auditory cortex region located in the temporal lobes. Specifically in color music synesthete, or someone who hears colors, fMRI reveals that the auditory cortex becomes unusually active during the time that the subject is listening to music. This can be advantageous as the subject can use this to form more distinct memory associations and therefore be able to remember and recall the sound more readily than most non-synesthetes. Researchers composed a study where they found commonalities among individuals who have synesthesia, specifically individuals who experience seeing color while listening to music. This study consisted of 3 experiments on synesthete individuals with music color associations. The first test asked participants to choose 1 out of 8 saturated colors they saw while listening to excerpts. Studies show that all participants reported similarities in their experiences when listening to music. They described higher-pitched sounds to be brighter colors, such as yellow or red, also noting that lower-pitched sounds were darker colors and not as vibrant. The participants also noted that lower-pitched sounds produced larger visual perceptions than higher-pitched sounds. The second and third experiments requested participants to rate how emotional a color is on a given scale and rate the same excerpts they listened to on the same emotional scale. All of the 8 colors remained the same for each experiment, given to the contestants in random order. The emotions being expressed ranged from positive, happy, lively, calm, sad, negative, strong, and angry. The results of all of these experiments together show that music color associations can be determined by the interrelationship between music and emotion and color and emotion. Synesthesia could be considered an emotional experience for individuals who have it, while perceiving the colors and visualizations as reality. A study into the cross-association of sensory modalities within the human brain revealed evidence supporting the hypothesis that the brain of a color music synesthete shows unique patterns of connectivity between auditory and visual processing areas within the brain. The study of synesthesia has contributed much knowledge when it comes to our understanding of our brain's creative abilities and the process of perception. Researchers have been able to conclusively show that the brain activity of a synesthete is markedly different than the brain activity of a non-synesthete. So what exactly is the difference between the way a synesthete experiences music versus everyone else? Evidence show that it will vary from synesthete to another. While color music synesthesia seems to be one of, if not the most, common form of synesthesia, this is certainly not the only form. The experience of color music synesthesia could be something like seeing a rainbow of colors popping into one view while a song plays. Yet another synesthete might listen to music and experience sensations of a taste where high-pitched sounds could taste bitter and low-pitched sounds could taste savory, for example. These unique cross-modal sensations in synesthetes can lead to longer-lasting memory associations attached to some stimulus such as a particular musical composition. This can be advantageous not only in recalling the musical composition, but in creating new ones, as the synesthete has a large, easily recallable repository of relevant information to work with. Famous musicians such as Pharrell Williams, Billy Joel, and Jimi Hendrix have all stated that they experience some form of synesthesia, and some even assert that it plays a significant role in their creation of new music. Jimi Hendrix once said he sees the E7 sharp 9 note as the color purple. There has been significant research effort focused on synesthesia thus far, although I think what is missing is studies specifically focused on those people who utilize synesthesia the most. These famous artists who have used this unique ability to create music that has become world-renowned should be a major topic of interest for researchers looking into synesthesia. The relationship of these artists with their synesthetic ability could be very different than how other synesthetes feel about their ability. Some may even regard it as a disability, as was previously mentioned. Yet, these famous synesthetes could be the ones who have mastered their ability and have learned to use it in a way that offers them an advantage in today's society. Perhaps researchers and scientists can conduct experiments based on performances of the same song. Performances have major impacts on the way the crowd perceives the song, as well as the performer itself. Maybe a person who has synesthesia has a different emotional experience depending on the colors they see and the emotions being evoked, compared to a person without it. This would need to be an experiment with a controlled group. Scientists can figure out what are the differences of the song through the pitch, tempo, emotions being evoked, and the overall experience the musician is having and projecting. We can learn how effective synesthesia is, and perhaps if musicians who have it might experience music playing and listening in a superior way. Many musicians have synesthesia who develop careers based on musical training and performing. It is extremely imperative we explore and examine the ways in which synesthesia has impacted their lives and career. A perceptual phenomenon, synesthesia in individuals can create different experiences than people who do not have it. All components of music are important when noting the different perceptions that are established in synesthesia. As we learned previously before, tempo and pitch may play a large role in the way an individual feels emotionally, also having an influence on what they might perceive. It is certainly clear that synesthesia can have a profound impact on the way synesthetes experience music, but whether this is for better or for worse is a subjective experience.